Hello and welcome to Die Rolling. I'm the ever excitable Adam, and today I'm talking about Pandora Celeste by Gun Tower Games. This is a fantastic sci-fi horror game where you're trying to attempt to survive on a ship infested with nasties. Now, I'm a huge fan of the movie Alien or Aliens or Event Horizon, anything kind of sci-fi horrorish. I'm a huge fan of, really. So whenever I see a game which is kind of doing a bit of an emulation of some of those things, then I'm all for it. Nemesis being one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of those games you can keep getting to the table, and yeah, it's something that when I saw this game, I was like, this reminds me of Nemesis, but this isn't Nemesis. This is its own beast, and in a very good way. Whereas straight away I'll do a Nemesis comparison here for you because, you know, I like to riff off the cuff. So with regards to Nemesis, that is I kind of feel like it's a one and done kind of situation. You can play that game a ton of times, always have different outcomes, but it's essentially the same narrative every time you play it. Whereas Pandora Celeste is a much more narrative heavy game. At least from the little mini campaign I played with the prototype copy I had, which was really fun to kind of come across all these different kind of scenarios as we're going through there. But yeah, I'm kind of jumping ahead of my review here, so let's talk about the game. So we've already done a video on this where it was myself, Karen, and Matt from the Offline Gamer, where we were playing through the very first learn to play kind of tutorial. Now the video itself, I think, is a little dry, if I'm honest, but it's basically us just sitting around a table and learning to play it. Full disclosure, there was probably about 20, I don't know, probably 15 to 20 minutes that got cut out of that because it was us going to the rule books. Now, I will say that the rulebook for this is pretty intuitive from just the copy I have here. However, I will say that I went into it with preconceptions of Nemesis being one of my favorite games. So I kind of went into that expecting certain things to work the same way as that. And whenever you go into a new board game and you've got at least, 3 board games you've played in the past, you do come with preconceptions and you do come with, thinking things will play out in a particular way. And it's a bit dangerous coming to new board games doing that because you will get them wrong. And part of the reason we had to take such a long break when we were actually filming it was because I was assuming it was going to work one way, and it didn't. So that's a slap on the wrist for me. But learning to play this game was an absolute breeze, really. The kind of tutorial that takes you through this is really good to kind of walk you through the steps, but also still challenging enough to keep you wanting to come back for more. The actual game in this, the different kind of scenarios you have in it are really fun. And at some point, you'll also have kind of hidden objectives as well, which, one of the great things about those kind of sci-fi horror films is the paranoia of not knowing who to trust. So, I really enjoy the fact that they've included that in here. So I'm going to break down the this little kind of like preview into a few little sections, and we'll go through each part of this. Artwork and components. So we were sent a prototype copy of this. And of course, with prototypes, you're going to get a mixture of kind of placeholder art, as well as, things that are going to be in the final product, as well as, different components and different tokens, that kind of thing like that. Now, this game came with a pretty cool plastic kind of insert. So you open up the box. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to get to the box opening right now. So we've gone for extreme close-up here, so I can show you just how cool this game is upon opening. Now, this is a prototype box, and you've got to remember that I've already played this and pulled all the stuff back, higgledy-piggledy, but when you are actually playing your own game, you'll probably install them a lot better than I do with this. So the really cool thing about this game is the actual board is right here, guys. I mean, look at this. Put down the sides. You got everything you need to, you got the board there, all this stuff down the side, and it all does flatten down. You've got all your rule books and stuff on top. Now this, like I say, this is a prototype, so there's loads of stuff in here. We've got the Learn to Play booklet, we've got the rules, all your different kind of handouts and stuff, a Xeno data log as well. And then we've got these little bits here, which you're going to basically be putting down to, sorry, parts of the ship. Now, like I say, guys, this is a prototype, so the actual thing is going to be, yeah, a lot sturdier. But essentially, these bits here, these are ventilation shafts. You can actually put your figures on here and move them around. But the board is all here. You just grab out all of your cards. And as you can see underneath, we've got all the different rooms that you're going to be coming across. So you've seen that box opening. You've seen how lovely that box looks. The perspex, or whatever it is, perspex that you have in there, I don't know whether that's going to be the same in the actual retail copy, or the Kickstarter version, or the Game Found, or whether that's going to be slightly different, but it was very, very helpful for us when we were playing the games. I really enjoy the fact that it kind of sections off the different area walls, and the fact that those vents are actually part of the experience. I haven't seen that out of the games I've played so far, which are alien themed, anyway, that's actually used the vents as well as this game does. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, the first time getting aliens coming through the vents after you, that is scary. The artwork in this, now I did say this in previous conversations I've had about Pandora Celeste, the artwork isn't going to be for everyone. Some people want their aliens looking as grim and gritty as possible. They're looking for Nemesis-style aliens, or the Alien-type aliens, which obviously Nemesis lovingly borrowed. These guys have their own aesthetic, and it's perfectly fine for the game that you're playing here. But some people might be put off by that. I would say try to look past that if you are a bit like cartoony kind of graphics here. The actual gameplay is solid. The game is fun, and if you like sci-fi horror games to play with your buddies, this is definitely really high up there. All the components in this prototype were top-notch, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they look like in the finished product. Gameplay. So, lots to cover off in gameplay. Different phases in the gameplay. Maybe I'll just go through each of those individually and tell you what these things kind of entail. But essentially, you can be playing cards from your hand, which have icons on them, and depending on which card you have, you can do different things. Now, it's a little bit of a puzzle sometimes when you're playing this game, but not in a bad way. Some games you play and you're like, I'm just playing a puzzle. This isn't thematic and immersive. However, in this one, it's like you've got cards and you need to get somewhere, but you have to figure out how you're going to do that in the best possible way. So I will say, if there are people with analysis paralysis, this game is going to take you longer to play because they are going to be weighing up all of their options. So you can set a little time limit or something like that to make sure people aren't just staring at their hands and going, oh, what can I do? But yeah, gameplay wise, you're going to be playing cards from your hands, which do different things depending on which cards you have. And then you're going to be moving your pieces around the board and hopefully surviving. The crew phase. So in the crew phase, you're going to be playing cards. These cards will have icons on them. You follow those icons, you do the things, and you move into rooms and explore places. When you move into rooms, if there are little tokens in there, you're going to flip those over, and they could be tools or memories of the ship, because you're just remembering how the ship layout is coming out of cryosleep, or you're going to be finding tools and stuff, or you're going to be finding nasties. The nasties in this game are nasties. When they attack, they're going to be taking cards from your hand into your kind of wound area. Not just from your hand, I believe you can take them off different piles as well. But yeah, they kind of get wasted, really. And some of the aliens in this as well will also inhabit you. So yes, they'll go inside you, and then they will slowly be whittling down your health, and you need to try and get them out as quickly as possible. There's something else in this game. You have noise as well. So depending on what actions you're playing, what tools you're using, you'll be creating noise. The noise is obviously going to attract more of the enemy, so you're going to have to try to manage your noise. Like I say, these cards are very, very impressive, the strategy you can kind of put out, because you're trying to make sure that you're not going to be the first target of all these aliens. So you're trying to play your turn in such a way that you might try to be a little quiet rather than, just running about. Sometimes you just have to make some noise and attack some aliens and just hope for the best. Other times, sneaky, you'll survive in this escape pod whilst everyone else burns to a crisp. Nasty phase. So there is a nasty phase where the nasties are going to be coming after you. And when they're coming after you, they're either going to be going after the noisiest person or they're going to follow their instincts. The instincts are stuff that's printed on their cards. It's really simple to follow. And there's lots of lovely kind of player aids here to tell you what all the symbols mean. It's very much a game that you are, once you played a couple of rounds of this, you're going to know what the symbols are and they're going to be second nature to you. But yeah, the nasties activate and it can be pretty catastrophic when they do. Combat. Combat in the game is pretty good. You've got a deck of cards. You're basically drawing cards from that and hopefully getting hits and not misses. You can also push your luck with the game as well. It's pretty intuitive. It's pretty quick to get through fights. And yeah, it's also very tense. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about this game. The actual tension is palpable when you're playing this. You know, especially when you're on a time limit, you've got to get into a particular room and you've got a nasty in the room. You're like, well, I can try to kind of move out, but they're going to attack me. Or maybe I can creep out, they won't attack me. Or maybe I can just try and destroy them. Actually, I need to destroy them because my friends have to get through. I need to do this. And then, yeah, you pull that card and you're just hoping it's going to be a hit. It's really fun. I really enjoy all of those kind of elements to it. It really adds a lot of tension and immersion to the game. How to win? Well, there's different ways you can actually win this game. It depends which scenario you are playing. Also, there are emergency protocol cards that get added to the game, which yeah, you need to make sure that you're trying to fulfill the objectives before their timers reach 0. If you don't manage to get to them before the timers reach 0, you're dead. Overall thoughts. My overall thoughts of this game should be pretty clear to you guys at this point. I'm a huge fan of Pandora Celeste. I think it's got legs. So many gribbly, horrible, nasty legs. This is a really fun survival horror game where you're going to be playing with friends in space and hopefully working together to escape. The nasties are really nasty. The action feels very tense and very immersive. The little narrative flavor text you get here and there really just kind of draws you into the story. And, you know, you choose different characters in the game. And I really feel like you get connected to that character. You really do kind of, I don't know, inhabit that character in a way. Sometimes you'll play a game like, so Nemesis, like I say, you know, I'm going to obviously compare this to Nemesis quite a few times. Nemesis, I'll play the engineer or something like that. And I'll feel like I'm playing a character and I'm trying to get them through their horrible day on this spaceship. But I don't feel that connected to them. This game was different. I felt so connected to the captain character I played. On one of them, the Skins robot character on the other one. It was, yeah, really fun just playing these different characters. And they all seem to have their own kind of like perks and their own kind of, I don't know, stories. So it was great playing it because I really felt like I was kind of embodying that character and I really wanted to see what happened to them. I wanted to survive. I wanted to get them to where they needed to get to. So overall, my thoughts for this are highly positive. I think this game is definitely a game you should all play if you like survival horror games. Is this a buy, a pass, or avoid? For me, it's a buy. I've got Nemesis. I've got Nemesis Lockdown. I've got Spaceship Omega, which is another kind of spaceship disaster kind of board game. This game, though, has definitely got a place in my collection. I love the whole kind of aesthetics of this. I love the different scenarios in there. This is a game you can play over a series of evenings, or you can play just in one day and just play one of the scenarios followed through to the next scenario, or, you know, just save it and come back for a later day. So yeah, for me, this is all glowing positive stuff. Some of the rules, I kind of assumed they did certain things they didn't do what I expected them to do, and I think that's partly on me, to be fair, but also it's a prototype rulebook, so some of these things might change, and any feedback we have from, you know, our gameplay, we're obviously going to feed back to Gun Tower Games and say, hey, this is where we had some issues, and maybe you might want to think about making this a bit more clear for idiots like this guy. But overall, yeah, fantastic game, really enjoyed it. The artwork, like I say, isn't going to be for everyone, but if you can look past the artwork, if you think it looks a bit cartoonish, which I personally don't mind the artwork in this game, then you're going to be in for a real treat. This is a fun sci-fi horror survival game, and yeah, I really hope to be playing this when the full version comes out, because it has, like I say, got some very nasty, gribbly legs, which I can't wait to pick apart. Anyway, I've been the ever excitable Adam. Until next time, guys, stay safe, or Die Rollin.